Recently asked a friend of mine, if you had the ability to ask a lawyer any question, a criminal defense lawyer and a DWI lawyer, any question, what would it be? And he said, if I get pulled over for a DWI, do I blow or don't I blow? I get asked this question all the time. I get asked this question by clients, by lawyers, even by judges. And sadly, the answer is not do this or don't do this. It depends. It depends on several things. And in this video, I'm going to talk to you about what those things are. So if you find yourself in a predicament, you at least will make a better educated decision than you would had you not watched this video. One of the things that this question depends on is, have you ever been pulled over before for a DWI? Is this your first or not your first? And the reason that's so important is because in certain locations in Missouri, certain counties in Missouri, if it's your first DWI and you refuse to blow, we can save your driver's license and you won't lose it for one day. So for some people, their license is more important to them than the DWI itself, and they don't want to lose their license for a day, or they don't want to have to be using an ignition interlock device on their car for a day. So specifically, the first thing you need to know is that if it's your first DWI and you're in a county like Jackson County, Missouri, you may qualify for a diversion of your driver's license. So you would be okay if you refused to blow. The next thing that's important for you to consider on whether you're going to blow or not blow is how much have you actually been drinking? Because I've been interrupted in the middle of the night and had people ask me if they should blow. And thankfully they were friends, they had my cell phone number, and I was able to talk them through making this decision. And in each of those cases, I actually told them to blow because I analyzed how much they had drank, over how long they had drank, had they eaten, and I'm listening to their voice. Are they slurring their words? Are they sounding coherent? And I'm helping them make the decision, and I'm advising them to blow. And one of them in particular had a very good result. He blew so low that he got to go home and wasn't even charged with the DWI. So I saved him thousands of dollars. But if you've been drinking a lot, and a lot means one beer is 0.02. So if you had more than 4 beers in a short period of time, chances are strong you're above a 0.08. Or if you just took a shot at the bar before you left, your blood level, your alcohol level in your blood is still rising. So these are important factors to know. How much have you drank? When have you drank? The concentration of what you drank. And chances are you might not even feel tipsy and still be above a 0.08 and find yourself getting a DWI. So it's important to know and analyze this before you make your decision. The third thing that's really important in the analysis of whether you should blow or not blow is how many priors do you have? And it's a little different than the first thing I talked about, because if this is your third DWI in your life in the country, not just in Missouri, but anywhere in the country, if you have 2 prior cases that you've pled guilty to, this one can be a felony. And so oftentimes people decide not to blow on their third or more because they are giving evidence to the police. They're actually giving evidence of their blood alcohol content that could help convict them, and they're going to be convicted felons. That means you lose your gun rights. You lose a lot of things if you become a convicted felon, not to mention potentially go to jail and lose your liberty. So another part of the analysis is if this is not your first, and it's not your second, and it's your third, chances are refusing is going to be an okay decision. And the fourth thing that's really important in the analysis of this question of blow or not blow is you need to understand the consequences of that decision. Some people really ask the question because they want to know, well, do I blow? Do I give them evidence against me on that DWI? And frankly, if I get called in the middle of the night, the blow, the result of blowing into that machine, I could potentially beat that machine and beat that number. So it doesn't scare me. You refusing is also something that doesn't scare me. I can potentially beat that case, even though some people think you look guilty because you refused. There's a lot of other reasons people refuse, like not trusting the machines. An article came out recently in the New York Times about why these machines can't be trusted and should not be trusted, and nobody should blow in them. So it's not hard to talk to people about that choice. But the thing that's really important is to know what happens to your driver's license because of these choices, not what happens with the DWI. What happens to your driver's license when you choose to blow and you blow above a 0.08 alcohol, you're actually looking at losing your license for 90 days, maybe a year if you've actually had this exact same experience and blew above a 0.08 in less than 5 years ago. But typically it's 90 days for most individuals. And they get to drive the entire 90 days on a hardship license, unfortunately with an ignition or lock device on their car, but they still get to drive for that entire 90 days. The other thing that can happen to you is if you refuse, you're looking at an entire year of driving on a hardship license. And that means with an ignition or lock device that you have to blow into just to drive your car for an entire year. And that's at $80 a month, by the way. And under both scenarios, you have to have the expensive car insurance called SR22 for 2 years. And under both scenarios, you have to take the class called SATOP, Substance Abuse Traffic Offender Program. That's no less than $500 just to take that class. So as you can see, there's a big difference between blowing and not blowing, 90 days versus a year. And oftentimes I prefer my client to blow because the machines aren't trustworthy anyway, and I can potentially beat the breath test. Look, we all know we shouldn't be drinking and driving. But the reality is, even if you've had only one drink and you're not drunk driving, you can find yourself pulled over by law enforcement and be facing some serious questions about why you're driving. And they can assume you're not supposed to be driving, even with just one drink. Also, you don't have to feel tipsy to get a DWI. The number 0.08 is so low, literally it's so low that our blood, just because it's alcohol levels above a 0.08, does not mean we are feeling the effects of it. So you may accidentally make the decision to drive, not realizing that you're above a 0.08. The reality is, this could happen to you, and we will treat you with no judgment because good people make bad decisions and good people get caught up in bad situations. We're here to help you, we're here to fight for you, and we're here to make sure, if at all possible, you do not have to have serious consequences as a result of this arrest. Give us a call, and we're happy to help you.